Welcome to another edition Evolve with James. I don't know what I'm at right now, but this is my friend Jonathan. I met him like last year. He
Yes.
came in and signed up at the gym,
Yes.
and he is my guest today.
Oh, thank you.
Been trying to get him in.
Thank you
Trying
for
to get.
having me. Thank you
He's
for
got
having
he's got a
me.
kid and a wife too. He's busy. Everyone's busy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I've been trying to get him over here to do it. He has a pretty interesting life. He grew up in New York City.
Yeah.
I grew up in Syracuse, in inner city.
Yeah.
So we saw a lot of the same similarities.
Yep.
Uh,
I've been in every single borough except Brooklyn
Really?
and Staten Island. So
you're not
I
missing anything.
yeah.
You know
So
what I mean? You've
I've
seen it
lived.
all.
I went from living in uptown Manhattan to living in the Bronx, up in Parkchester, and then I went away for the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
So I spent my time in North Carolina, did a tour in Afghanistan, came back, went to Queens, and then from Queens we did like a little bit of Long Island, and then came up north.
So
Yeah,
my thing I would have to say, like I said, I wanted to discuss with you, like,
yeah.
from you as how old are you?
I'm 33.
Okay, so from you as a kid, so I mean like growing up like teens,
Yeah,
early
yeah.
teens, like like 13 to 16
Mhm.
years old. What was it like and where did you grow up?
So I grew up in the Washington Heights area, like
So you
uptown.
grew up in a
It was, I would consider it the hood,
yeah,
right? But it's like,
it was the better side of the hood, Washington Heights.
so the thing about Manhattan is the northern part of Manhattan is it's weird because it's divided amongst ethnic people, right? So like if
It's
you're
so strange. You think
yeah,
it's like the little Italy, but
yeah,
they have their own
yeah.
area
So
too
like
in there.
from 120 no, from 145th Street, which is like Spanish Harlem, that area. Don't if I'm misquoting, please.
Yeah.
Like from Spanish Harlem up all the way to like Dykeman, Inwood, it's mostly Spanish people.
Yep.
And then it goes, to black people, African American,
Well, they're not really
Harlem.
African American. Are they
Oh,
from Africa?
no,
I know.
we
That's our
we
PC.
show, yeah, the
America.
PC.
PC.
You know.
It's funny. Like like Elon Musk isn't allowed to be called out.
Yeah.
African American, but he
Yeah.
is from Africa.
Yup.
It's an odd thing, right?
And then as you go down the borough, down Manhattan, it starts to get a little lighter. So it's
It's
it is
just
what it is. Yeah.
so it's
like
it's like
Spanish.
caramel, dark,
Yeah.
white. It's like
It's funny
it
'cause,
just
like,
rolls out. It's like I want my
Yeah.
coffee with cream,
But it's crazy.
and then black,
Yeah.
and then I just want nothing but cream.
Like if you take let's just say one day you decide to go to the city and which I don't recommend to anybody because the New York City subway station right now is their train system is the worst thing on earth. But
Not just the crime, just the train.
just
is a
everything,
disaster.
it's just the whole system. Like it's dirty. There's rats everywhere. The people are terrible. If like taking the train at night is a problem.
It's a risk.
Yeah, it's a risk. Yeah, but it's funny because like I used to when I was growing up.
No problem.
When I was growing up, it was still a problem, but it wasn't as charged as it is now, right? So everything's highly charged, super sensitive. People don't mesh well.
Yeah,
right?
people are ready to fight each
And
other, kill
it's
each other.
for no reason.
no
Like
reason.
you look at somebody the wrong way, they're already like, oh. But the moment you're on the train, like as you progress through the stops, you'll see the demographic of people change per stop. It's
So
crazy.
weird.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. But that's Manhattan for you, right? Or that's
Yeah.
any of the boroughs, right?
Yeah.
You go to, the Bronx.
It's just like me growing up, I would go there a lot,
Yeah.
and there was you knew certain areas, but now it's like it seems like the crime is spilled over everywhere.
Yes.
And like I said,
Yes.
everyone's just so
Yeah.
fucking sensitive and angry,
Mhm.
and I think a lot of it's to do with like there's no real punishment. No one's getting arrested for things.
That and then we, as a society, people have discredited police so much.
And that's
It's
a problem.
crazy, right? So it starts with the news, right? At one point, when I was growing up, you would get good news.
Yeah.
And you would get bad news,
Yeah.
right? So you would get the good stuff, which kept people positive. Oh, that's great. There was a miracle somewhere. Like, there was a lot of that stuff, especially
Good
because,
things that happen.
Yeah.
People doing good things.
Yes.
There's a
But-
lot of good out there.
Oh, 100%. But now, for some
don't show it.
reason, anytime you throw on any of these mainstream media news channels,
It's all bad.
across
Fox
the
is the
board.
same way.
across the board.
That's why I like Tucker because he's funny, but like all
Yeah.
the rest are crazy.
You know?
You just see bad.
Which is why now I don't even. It's funny because when I finally moved up here, me and my wife we were like, hey, like, do we really need like a cable box? Because
Yeah.
there's
part of it. We don't have either.
There's nothing.
Nothing of worth.
Yeah, there's nothing of worth. Like when I was growing up, my dad and I used to watch Discovery Channel. Yeah, but he
The
used
Discovery Channel today is not the same
No,
Discovery Channel.
but
today.
like when,
It's like guided.
Yes.
It wants to guide you towards a
Yeah.
different direction.
like back in the day, it was all about the animals and the people and the different cultures
Yeah.
and the food
Which
and like it
Made
was-
us all
Yeah.
good together. And
Yes.
you want to have, like, when you go out to eat, you always want something different.
Yes.
It's good to have all different kinds of people. Like, that's,
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine, I fucking hate myself half the time just hanging out with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's crazy. And that's a whole nother thing I get on, like, sorry, it's like politics. Like,
Yeah.
growing up, like, all my friends were, like, black.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I voted for Trump, and it was like they all hated me. Like, all of a sudden I became racist. I'm like, dude, I'm the
That's-
same fucking dude. You guys are at my
Yeah.
wedding. We've grown up
Yeah.
together. We hung out everywhere.
Mhm.
Now you're not my friend. Now I'm the racist.
Yeah.
Maybe, like, are you racist? You're like,
Yeah.
dude, you're the one that fucking hates me now for
Like,
no
it's-
fucking reason, dude.
It's wild that now people are basing their friendships off of political disagreements or agreements. Like,
But you don't even, but people that have
but
been hung out
that
forever,
is like
makes no sense.
to someone's personality. That is like a sliver of what that
Yeah.
person is, right? So like, if you come up to me and you see me at the gym, I
Yeah.
talk to everybody. I give everybody a fair chance. Like outside of the gym, usually I'm very like to myself.
Yeah.
Just because I understand like
People
what's
are crazy
going on
now.
out there, and then I have a kid to
You don't want to
protect.
argue.
Yeah, and I don't
Yeah,
want
you
to
don't
argue
want
with
a problem,
people.
yeah.
And then I know that I can be highly aggressive, so I try my best to
Just because you're passionate about stuff and you still
Yeah.
see the world the way I saw it years
Yeah.
ago, it
Mhm.
bothers us that it's getting fucking trampled on.
It's crazy.
And
It's
we
crazy.
have kids, so we don't want it to fucking go
Yeah,
down the
like,
shit drain. It's not
you
like
know.
you're angry at the life that this country
Yes.
is planning for your fucking daughter.
Well, yeah.
That's fucked
crazy,
up.
Which is wild because
You
like,
grew up, had a good time growing up.
Oh yeah, we used to.
And now we have to where our kids can't grow up like
Like,
that?
It's insane. Like, I don't know if of course you noticed, but like back in the day, people used to. The streets were littered with kids, like just
Yeah.
playing outside.
Yeah.
Like I.
No one
grew
was
up-
worried about it was a
Yeah.
random what about
Yeah.
a kidnap or something?
Yeah,
that
yeah.
shit randomly,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? But now you gotta worry about bullets.
Oh, yeah,
Kids getting
crazy.
run over,
Yeah.
like, tons of fucking horrible shit.
Yeah, I literally grew up like.
You grew up in a great area. You didn't grow up in a great area, neither did I.
Yeah.
And I still didn't have to worry about
Yeah.
getting killed.
Yeah, and then I would go outside every day.
Yeah.
Hang out with my friends
Yeah.
every day. It's funny. We used to play basketball in the middle of the street, like.
But we played football in the street.
Yeah, like.
Yeah.
But
Any cars are slowed down, you'd
Yeah.
move. Now the kids are assholes. God forbid.
No, but
I
like,
mean, in Syracuse, like, they're playing in the street, and you're like, just, and then I'm like hammering on the horn, and just stop, and I'm like, what? And then like, fuck you doing? Go around. Like, where am I gonna go?
like,
I'm like, I'm just gonna fucking, I hope they jump out of the way. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's
Like, I'm
crazy now.
courteous enough. I know you're playing
Yeah.
your kids. I did the same thing. I'm gonna stop and let you finish your play and move
Yeah.
over to the side so I can
Yeah.
drive. But they're like, fuck you. Fuck you, white boys. I'm like, what is wrong with you guys? Are you insane?
Yeah,
This is the road.
Yup,
It's meant to
yup.
drive on. I don't care that you're playing on it because
Yeah.
I grew up there. I didn't have a fucking big backyard.
No.
I grew up in the street like that.
There's a Karen. If you do that now, you're gonna get a Karen
Bro, it's
pull up and be like,
crazy.
"Oh, all these kids are on my driving." I'm like, "Yo, what are you talking about? Like, wouldn't you rather see?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you want to see kids outside playing instead
Bro,
of
it's
locked
crazy.
in their house every single day?" Literally, like it's crazy because I want my daughter to go outside and play.
Yeah.
So, but it's like. There's nobody out there, right? So what is she gonna do
I
outside by
know.
herself?
Dude, Giacomo's the same thing. He's in a nice neighborhood. Nobody fucking plays outside.
Like
Not even here.
Yeah.
There's a ton of kids. Dude, there is a basketball and it's nice.
Yeah, like a nice court.
Down there.
Yeah.
Nobody. There's a pool.
Empty basketball courts,
Very
empty
good.
parks, empty pools, empty everything. And like even
Dude,
I
we
never-
grew up, we didn't have a fucking real nice. We had like a dirt backyard with a basketball. The rim was fucking. My dad literally attached the backboard and the rim to a fucking tree, bro.
I wish
We would try to rake the backyard, literally rake the
Yeah.
backyard so it was kind of smooth. So when you would dribble, you wouldn't hit a rock and hit you in the fucking face. You know what I'm saying? These
Like-
kids have nice shit nowadays.
Yeah.
Real backboards you can raise and lower them for the younger
Yes,
kids.
Yes.
It was all like 10 foot. Good luck, man.
Yeah, good luck.
You're
Yeah,
fucking. You're 5.
You
Oh well,
you
goodbye.
you better work on that jump shot.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't fucking play. It's sad.
Yeah.
I go down there. It's like me and Giacomo. No one.
That's what happens with me and Soraya. I take it to the park and it's just me and her. For at least a solid 2-3 hours. And then by the time I'm like, okay, like we played enough and I'm ready to leave.
Are people
fine.
starting to? Really? Like right at the end of the night or something?
Yeah, like people then finally, like one parent shows up with like their kid. And it's just like.
And it didn't change that. It wasn't coronavirus. It was before. Because I remember when Giacomo was little, a couple years before, there was this place called Wegmans. Like there's a Wegmans. You ever heard of grocery stores?
Yeah.
It was called Wegmans Park in Syracuse. And it was by Onondaga Lake. And it was massive. I mean, one of the most beautiful parks ever. And it was always packed. Packed. You go there and it's like always mothers.
Yeah.
It was a great place
Of
for like a
course.
father's.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
single.
you know.
Wonderful place to go to,
Little
right?
kid, he's
Your
one
little
there, he's
kid,
going
yeah.
there.
And all these women. Oh, nice. So I love taking him there, not just for that. But it was a nice park.
Yeah.
But it was right on the lake.
Mm-hmm.
And like a couple of years before coronavirus, we'd go there. Nobody. 5 or 6 kids.
Yeah.
Hardly anyone. And they used to have like, they still had like the ice cream and all this stuff there, but like
Yeah.
no one, I'm sure they don't anymore. No one's showing up.
Whatever happened to Mr. Frosty? Man, when that truck when I was growing up,
Remember that?
that truck would drive
You'd hear the
by,
sound. Everyone comes running out with
just
change,
crazy,
right?
And I would literally beg my mom, be like, "Yo, can I get $1 so I can go and get a cone, a vanilla cone?" And she'll look at me like, eh. And then she'll go,
Yeah.
she'll go and then she'll be like, "Go get one and come back." But like,
I haven't seen him in years. I haven't seen him down here.
No, not down here. I've barely seen any.
You know why?
ice
Because
cream
the kids aren't out. They're not going to do it.
Yeah.
They lost
That's the
they
only way to
lost
make
it.
money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you would have thought, and that's not coronavirus because food trucks did really good during coronavirus. So like
Food trucks
you would
are
think
killed.
that place would do.
Yeah.
Those are the good, but the kids aren't out.
That's
I mean, the kids aren't out. Like they're not going to even hear because they're playing on their phone, computer, video games, so they don't hear the fucking truck driving by. Even if you're in your backyard, you heard it. Run, jump over the fence,
Yes.
boom.
Yeah, and it's funny because like
You would hear in your sleep that
hear it
fucking
from
thing.
deep,
Yeah.
from deep.
You were
It
out
wouldn't
there
even be on
waiting.
your
You're like,
block.
and then you start thinking, did he have it pass?
Yeah,
You know what I
did
mean?
it
You're
pass?
like, fuck, did I miss it? And he was like blocks down a neighborhood over or some
but, like,
shit.
You would just hear.
Yeah.
And then
it's
all of a sudden, like, you'd be like, "Oh, is he getting closer? Is he getting closer?" Yes, he's getting closer.
And all of a sudden it fucking pop up.
Yeah, I was like, man, when you got downstairs too late and you missed it, and everybody else was eating their ice cream, and you're just standing there like
Sucked.
an asshole with your fucking dollar in your hand.
Like, maybe a hooker next time. Maybe a hooker.
Maybe.
Depends on what neighborhood you're in, I guess.
Streetwalkers, That's crazy, dude.
Okay, so we were talking about you said something about the police, and it was like interesting, like, I was like, how like there's no real punishment for people.
No.
They're fighting back. People are fighting everywhere.
Yeah.
Even Syracuse was fighting back on police. So they're not going Syracuse. I mean, this is what I really saw.
Yeah.
They weren't going into the inner city because they were doing their job, pulling people over and getting in trouble,
Yeah.
getting, internal affairs on them.
Mhm.
People getting written up, worried about losing their job. Had 17
yeah.
years in, so they
Wild.
just stopped going. They only would go if the ambulance was down there, get a 911 call, then they'd go.
Yeah.
So to clean up,
Yeah.
the dead bodies. That was it, because they don't want to lose their job,
Of course not.
and you don't blame them.
But it's like,
But so I don't understand. But I don't see how people don't. Like I was talking to that one day. That severely bothers me.
yeah.
That these young kids are getting killed and they have no fucking chance.
Yeah.
Because when that happens,
Mhm.
crime goes up,
Yes.
the businesses leave,
Yes.
the police aren't there, so businesses aren't there.
And then the neighborhood.
The
goes to
tax
shit.
dollars go down,
Yeah.
so the schools aren't getting funded. The teachers stop caring because why? Because they can't teach the kids or say anything to them, God forbid, because then they get in trouble
Mhm.
for telling the kid to do his work, right?
Have you seen all
So-
these crazy videos of these kids?
Yeah,
like,
bro.
Sawing teachers, like.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Why?
So now, like, these kids are doing nothing.
Mhm.
They're allowing it, but it's crazy. It's like these neighborhoods are asking for the police not to be there. It's like a downward. It's like pushing a fucking shopping cart down a fucking
Oh yeah.
flight of stairs. They see it falling and everything's crumbling around them
Yeah,
over
it's
4 or 5,
crumbling,
like
yeah,
5
it's
years now,
falling
right?
apart, yeah.
And they're like, we just want the same thing. And what's funny is you hear like TV, like CNN and stuff, is like blaming this on like some boogeyman of white supremacy.
Yeah.
This isn't. I care about it, and that's not my neighborhood, and I care about it.
Yeah.
Like I was telling you, it fucking kills me. People say like because I'm conservative. Like, no, I think they should have a conservative Republican. Try something. You might not agree with it, but you know what?
Mhm.
You have nothing to fucking lose. And if you've been Democrat forever and your city is falling apart,
And you see it happening in real time.
yeah,
Like real
just
time.
over 5 years.
Yeah.
It wasn't that bad years ago. So
Oh,
like,
no.
why wouldn't you not want to change it? Like, I want more cops. I don't want the kids to die. I want them to have a chance to go to college
Yes.
or fucking do something with their life.
Well,
But because I'm conservative, and because I want police, I'm considered the racist person. When I actually give a fuck if these kids get killed.
it's
It's mind-boggling,
It's
dude.
not- and it's so I I used to work law enforcement. I was a correction officer for like about 5 years.
Yeah.
The jail system is a revolving door, meaning these guys are coming
In and out.
in, getting out, coming in, getting out, coming in, getting out. Then, and this is when I first started on. It was already bad when I first came on.
Yeah.
But as the years progressed, what ended up happening was that they took away solitary confinement, right? They took
Jesus.
away. Officers used to be able to write citations like to inmates.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we're gonna take money from your condo.
Oh yeah. It's like a
No.
punishment. I mean,
That doesn't happen anymore. There's no repercussions for their actions.
they just do whatever the fuck they want in there.
Officers are getting assaulted left and right in there, and it's not on the news. It's not. You could left and right, like left and right. Officers get beat up. They get cut.
Now,
Listen,
what if you do something to defend yourself and you like choke the guy out or beat him because he's
Like-
trying to kill you? You in trouble?
So, unfortunately,
It's fucking crazy, bro. For you
Right.
want to protect your life?
like that's and it's wild.
Is that why you're not doing it?
No,
It's
so-
fucking crazy, dude.
I left. One of the main reasons why I left is because I was already getting into like too many uses of force. Like it
Yeah.
was
Because you're just trying to defend yourself.
yeah. So like a lot of times you as an officer you try to enforce your rules that govern you, right? You're black and white.
Yeah.
Right. And so when you try to enforce your rules, if another officer that was there the shift before you, if they didn't do their part, now you come in and they're like, yo, dude, like this guy's busting balls, and I'm like,
No, this is
I'm
where you're
actually
supposed to fucking do my job.
I'm actually doing my job.
Yeah.
So and then because you're actually doing your job, they take it as, oh, this guy is just being an asshole and he's out here like giving buddy a hard time. And I'm
But it's the
like,
job that
yeah.
you were literally told to do.
Yes.
So it's like they tell you to do a job, but then like low key don't want you to do it.
Yeah, but and then the best part about it is that the supervising staff or like your captains, your wardens, they're not supporting the officers. They're actually slaying the officers.
They just
like,
want their paycheck
yeah,
from the
100
fucking the government.
100%.
And they're getting fucking cuts from this and
100%.
that.
I will say this that I
It's
used to
corrupt.
Yeah, and it's
Like that.
weird because I don't want to go too crazy because I don't know if they're gonna come after me or whatever. But fucking like the shit that I experienced in there within only I was only there for 5 years.
Yeah.
For a 5-year window, it felt like I was already serving a fucking like a life sentence. Like it was
What?
crazy, dude. I would come in. Look, check this out.
You felt like you were a prisoner?
yeah.
What the
Bro.
fuck, dude?
My shift was from 7 in the morning till 4 in the afternoon. But what happens is they have a policy which is like it's forced overtime. So you think you're going home, and by the time you get to the front gate, that captain's like, "Oh, we have a hole here. I need you to go over there," and you have to do it. It's not that you could just leave, right?
Yeah.
Or if they don't get you that way, what they'll do is they'll let you work your shift, and they won't send you a relief. So you're just in there for
Why?
another 8 hours.
They don't care.
They don't notify you. There has been times where I was just in the same housing area for like 16 hours, 18 hours with the same group of inmates.
Holy fuck, you were one of them.
Basically.
Jesus,
And
you couldn't leave.
And then it's interesting how you can see how, like, think about it, right? You work 4 days a week, 2 days off.
Yeah.
But for those 4 days, you're doing 16 to 18 hours,
That's
a day.
crazy, dude.
Right? So by the time you get home, you're literally taking a nap and you're going
It's not like a
to
desk
work.
job. Like
No,
you're
no, like
you're in fear of your life the whole fucking
the
time.
whole time,
Yeah.
right? And then it's right,
You gotta
it's
be sharp.
crazy, right? Because as a guy, if you go in there and you're a bigger statue or you look a little like like
Yeah, you
like
take care of yourself.
yeah,
Yeah.
they'll test you even more. So it's almost like a disadvantage to be
bigger.
bigger, right? Because they'll be like, oh, look at this big guy. Like, what are you gonna do? Until you slam somebody in their head,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh shit.
But then you get in trouble for that.
Oh, 100%.
When they're attacking you.
Yeah.
Wait, the good old days. You know, and
Yeah.
you're in jail for being a criminal.
And
You know, like not right or wrong for what when you committed a
Yeah.
crime. I just got lucky, but like, don't attack people
Yeah.
while you're doing your. You know what I mean?
And
There's no
I'm-
reason. You're not gonna attack someone if they're just fucking
Yeah.
doing their thing.
Like, and I'm not saying, and I'm not by all.
Saying people are perfect in there.
Just so you guys are clear, I'm not saying that officers need to go out here and beat the crap out of people. No, what I'm saying is that there needs to be a standard to how people operate in any of these fields, right?
Yeah.
There needs to be a standard how the officer operates and how, in my case, the inmate operates.
Well,
right?
yeah, it's like so. There's a level of like, what's the
Yeah.
threshold?
Yeah.
When they're attacking me, I'm allowed to defend myself.
Yes.
Now, if they're trying to stab me or hit me with a weapon,
Yes.
I'm allowed to take them down or take them out.
Yeah.
You know, you don't kill them, but you take
No,
them out.
but
You know what I mean? You're allowed to disable them,
Yes.
disarm them in any way possible,
Yes.
break their arm, choke them out because they have a weapon now.
Yeah. Like, especially when it comes to
Because you have a family, you have a life of your own.
100%.
People don't look at that for cops or correction officers. They like, well, you signed up for that. Like, no, if I didn't do this, who the fuck's gonna do it? Just like the military, who's gonna fucking do it? And that's why people don't want to do it anymore. That's why there's no one to do it.
Everybody always talking about cops being nasty and bad. Look,
People treat them like shit.
look,
There is some bad in everything,
Yes,
but if you
there's
treat someone like an
always-
asshole, they're gonna be worse.
there's always gonna be
Christ.
a bad in something in everything in life,
Yeah,
right?
every
now,
job.
if a society chooses to highlight only the evil that someone is doing because it benefits them financially,
Yeah,
and all you're doing is poisoning everybody's minds,
Yeah.
right?
because
So,
the majority is not.
How
like
about showing the cop that saved the little girl from being raped?
Yeah.
Or how about showing the cop who stopped a kid from being kidnapped or giving somebody CPR and saving somebody's life? Like these guys go out there, they risk their lives every day. Nobody gives a fuck.
No.
New York City cops, if
that?
I'm wrong,
lower paid, right?
I think they're like top pay for them is like 100,000,
That's
maybe,
crazy.
and that's after like 5, 6, 7 years of a job.
Yeah, Jared didn't make that much.
Like-
He was there years.
And it's crazy, right? Because other departments, like for example, Nassau County Police,
Yeah.
Suffolk County Police, they don't play that shit. They roll deep. Yo,
Yeah.
the moment the call goes through, it's like 10 calls.
Well, there's no fucking around. Yeah.
Because they're not fucking around. But if you notice in the inner cities, these cops are outnumbered. And
Well,
where's
yeah.
their backup? Where's their help?
Because they don't have enough people.
How are you supposed to enforce the law when you yourself don't have the support
The
you
balance.
need?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You tell a guy, hey, for example, like in my case, I was a CO, right? If I tell an inmate, lock in.
Yeah.
That's what I want you to do.
Yeah.
Lock in.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I'm asking for. I'm not asking for you to go off and like
Be mad at
Yeah,
You
and-
know the role. You've been here
Yeah.
for the days or years. What you know the drill.
Now, but if an inmate comes up to me respectfully, right, and he goes, "Hey, CO Paredes, if you don't mind, before I lock in, can I grab some water?"
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Good. Go grab your water. You can just lock in.
Yeah.
But no, I'm not doing this today. And I'm like,
You are.
Okay. so then
You
what
can do it,
ends-
or we can do it.
Yeah. So what ends up happening is, right, like I used to be honest with him. I'd be like, hey, listen, once I turn on this body camera,
Turn off the camera.
no, turn
Oh,
on.
oh yeah.
Once I turn on the body camera, I'm talking to you as Officer Paredes, then you're inmate so-and-so.
Yeah.
Sir, step in.
Yeah.
Sir, step in. Are you refusing my orders?
Yeah.
Oh, what? And then as it escalates, no problem. The body camera's on. It shows that I'm not doing anything like out
Yeah.
of pocket. And then it goes from there. But what happens is that even though you did everything within the book, the department is always looking for something to slay the officer. I'm
So
fucking-
stupid.
Yeah. Like
It's the most.
like I
it's,
had on.
I think, but I think it comes from media and
Yeah.
from this crazy woke mob from the left.
Yeah.
That that they're getting sucked into this fucking vortex, and they're
Yeah.
hiring those type of people.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have a friend. I'm not going to say his name because I don't know if he'd want me to, but
Yeah. Yeah.
huge fucking Jamaican guy,
Yeah.
massive. He's been a corrections officer for years.
Oh,
He is because most of his family, jailed, murderers, stuff like that, right? From the inner city of Syracuse, wanted to help people. So he does all like the, he's always helping with like inner city things. He helps like anti-gang things, play football, basketball, gets them to do stuff, lifting weights and stuff like that. Gets the kids involved, younger kids, before it's too late,
Of course.
And he's been doing this forever. Right when coronavirus happened, the schools they sent the kids home, right? A lot of the kids in inner city, that's how they ate. They had breakfast there and lunch, and some of them dinner if they were to the floor, right?
That's how I grew up.
Yeah. So when coronavirus, they send them home. What were they gonna do? So he had a barbecue business also. Now, he's been a corrections officer for years, officer, but he also had like a barbecue business. He had a truck, and he made something like 5,000 meals, and he was every day delivering them to the neighborhoods. That's while doing it, and how many hours you did. So it's while doing his job, right?
Yeah, while doing
so overtime,
he's already
hours,
putting
right?
on. He's already not only is
barely
he, like,
sleeping. He wasn't even able to lift
sleeping,
anymore.
right?
Yep.
But now he's taking the little personal time that he has to dedicate it to his community because
he cares.
Because he cares.
So the George Floyd thing happened, and they tried Syracuse, that whole like burn thing. It didn't half a day. Syracuse does not play like that. So they tried to attack the jail. The town hall. The Syracuse, the police department, and so him and a bunch of people are out there. The guy's like 6'6". He used to curl 200-pound dumbbells. This motherfucker's. He looks like the Green Mountain. He's fucking huge, bro. So him and some other people, and like my nephew was out there, and there was a bunch of people, and they had like the gear on. And you have a bunch of white people throwing frozen bottles of water at him, calling him.
Definitely.
Because he's a corrections officer. Like, what?
How about, did you
fucking, and that was okay.
Did you see the
he came to the gym like the next day, and Giacomo was always like giving him hugs. It was cute because like I picture like Giacomo was so little, even 50 pounds, and he's so massive, and they were so cute together. And he looked down, and I was like, "What's wrong?" He's like, "I don't want to see him upset." And he was telling me the story, and I'm like, "What?" He's like, I've never had anyone say that to me. Yeah. And here's a bunch of like white liberal people calling him that, thinking it's normal. Yeah. Protesting like a criminal. A criminal getting killed. Like maybe he shouldn't have got killed for that offense, but he was a piece of shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? Ultimately, not a good person.
It's crazy because.
But but they're protesting that.
And the way people is public, right?
Yeah, people know, dude. Yeah. They're just fucking dumb.
But no
one looks or they don't believe it.
Nobody does the research though.
No.
There's nobody out there like, okay, this is
like,
shown to you.
He was a criminal. Yeah. He beat the fuck out of a woman with a gun. Yeah, he raped women. Yeah, this and that, but he didn't deserve it. No, he didn't in that moment. But this dude had it fucking coming. And you think these cops weren't nervous as fuck knowing this career criminal was a big motherfucker?
You know what I think happened?
And he was high on drugs?
When they showed up at the scene, somebody ran him, right?
Yeah.
And they saw all.
They were scared to death.
And they were probably like, "Yo,
you see how little those guys were?
Yeah.
They were all small. Yeah. I mean,
and that's also another part of it too, right?
Yeah, you gotta have bigger guys. You gotta have people that know how to fight.
That's also the part of the standard thing, right? Where cops should be trained and should be forced to do.
Bro, they'll even let fucking 100-pound women that don't know what they're doing.
Like, I feel like there's certain departments out here that should have mandated physical requirements.
Yeah, you have to be. Well, they don't. They don't for anyone. The military's worse like that now too. They lowered it all for. And listen. I'm not saying like women shouldn't do it, but you have to make the standard. That's it.
Yeah.
There shouldn't be a loader standard. There's a standard, and and you know what? Women were in the military before. Women were in police department before. Mm-hmm. And they met the standard.
Yeah, when I was in the Marine Corps, we had a standard, dude. You had to do your 3-mile run, you had to do your 20 pull-ups, you had to do your 100 crunches, and that was a PFT.
And that was what you were. Well, male, female, do it.
Yeah,
That's your fucking job.
that's what you have.
And they keep lowering shit, and they think they're doing it to like make things fair. They're not. They're making people weak, and then they're making the police department weak, our military weak. So now the police aren't strong enough to take care. So they have to be a little aggressive because what do they do to he's a fucking huge guy.
Can't take that dude by yourself.
A guy that size, you got to take his control of his head. I would control anyone's head. I don't care what size they are.
It's either you taking his legs, you got to get him on, like, you got to do something.
Yeah, he's massive.
Right?
And he's high on fentanyl and whatever else, you know what I mean? He's probably aggressive as fuck.
I wish that, like, police departments would invest in, like,
some type of training.
Like, heavy Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah.
Courses, right?
Yeah.
Because it teaches you how to grapple, how to control the body, right? How to submission someone.
But even then, they still have to have some strength.
Yes, and like also doing
like strength training,
and also doing strength training.
I would be more than happy to do Maypac to the police department. They can come to my gym. Like, yeah, seriously, I
the way
it would work better. There'd be less. Yeah. Plus, if you know a guy can just fucking twist you, it's less likely you're gonna fucking
100%.
Way less likely. Imagine like Ronnie Coleman when he was a trooper in Texas.
Oh my God. Nobody.
You get pulled over speeding. You're like, yes, officer, just give me the ticket.
You're not testing that, dude.
You ain't getting out.
But if you notice, you never heard anything about Ronnie Coleman as a cop, though.
No,
because ain't nobody was testing.
No, he was massive.
Nobody.
There should only be big motherfuckers out there.
What you imagine, dude? Yeah, you ate the red light.
Yeah,
this brolic cop came out of his car, super big, super
doesn't even fit his jacket.
Like. You could tell off the way he walks that this guy is a specimen of a human being. Right? Yeah, you're not gonna test that.
No,
you're not.
No, not even someone on drugs would do that.
No,
it'd be like, I'm high as fuck. Just arrest me.
And
I'm high as fuck. Take me in.
It's crazy, dude. I feel
but
like
you get these tiny people.
Yeah.
That aren't even like. I think you should be somewhat intimidating.
To an extent, but
it's like look at bouncers. People don't want to fight bouncers as much because they're intimidated.
Yeah, get yoked up.
Yeah, or you gotta get people that's like I was never. I'm not 6'4", I'm 5'6", 5'7", but I was always big and I'm strong as fuck and I can fight real well. So people knew. But every now and then you had someone test me, but then it would be months because they were like, you're gonna get fucking killed. Like. I'd have 5 guys trying to attack me, and I would just choke them all out or fucking beat the fuck out of them. And then people would be like, I had some kids want to fight me, and they're like, he's gonna kill you, run. And people would scream out of nowhere, and then they would just be like,
I had a bouncer come up to me one day. So it's funny, I went to a party, not a party, I went to like a bar in Long Island with a couple of my Bernie buddies.
Yeah.
We got into it.
It's fucked up. Yeah.
Like, I hit this one kid so hard. Like, yo, would I tell you that he just like...
A friend or someone else?
Nah, it was
just fucking with you.
Yeah, like they were fucking... Basically, they were trying to pick on my boy. But it was a group of them against him.
Trying to attack. Yeah, it's fucked up.
So I'm like, hell no, you're not.
Yeah.
So I...
One-on-one's fine.
Yeah,
no.
Yeah. So then, we get into this debacle, and the bouncer comes up to me, and he's like, man, I wouldn't have tested you. I was like, all right. And not because I'm big or anything, is what you present to people, right?
Yes. If you there's too much femininity in men nowadays. So it's really, and I think that's why these kids are fighting so much. You know what I mean? Like the more masculine and the more confident you are.
Yeah.
In everything in life. You know what I mean? It puts you in a different, like a whole another pendulum of wave. And you're over here. And you get more respect. And you don't have as many problems either.
Yeah.
Like I said, every now and then I have some jackass because like they want to test you because I was big. But like other than that, it was like, and I was, people like to try to fight me.
Yeah.
The older I got, I think that like Jim's getting older. Eventually, I'm like, I'm just used to fighting you fuckers.
Yeah.
You realize you're still fucking 20. What are you gonna do to me? You've been in what, 2 fights your whole life? Fucking little rich college kid. Fuck you doing from SU?
I think men nowadays need to hold themselves to a different standard than what society is expecting of them.
Because they expect nothing of them.
Yeah. So if it's odd.
I don't care what society says. You should fucking want more for yourself.
As growing up, my dad is an old school Dominican dad, right? Motherfucker worked his whole life. Yeah. My dad worked. My dad
still alive?
Yeah, he's still alive.
He it's funny when you work your whole life, you still live.
Yeah, like he was born in the Dominican Republic.
Yep.
He out on the island, he used to work a farm.
Yeah.
So he already had like that
Oh, yeah.
farm
Yeah,
boy strength,
mentality,
right?
yeah.
Then the reason why they came to the U.S. was for my sister, which was the first kid,
Okay.
right, in my family. And when he came to the U.S., he worked in a restaurant for a while, and then he was a cab driver for like God knows how many years.
That's a fucking hard job.
Right? And
Jesus
then it's
Christ.
like, and my mom was stay-at-home mom.
Yeah.
Mom,
Back then you could.
Yeah, and so the thing is, mom did
Because shit was normal.
what, if we're being honest,
Yeah.
what mothers are expected to do, right?
Yeah.
She took care of the kids. She made sure that we were freaking clean, the house was
Yeah.
nice, and there was always a meal, right?
Yeah.
And my dad, he would wake up in the morning, go to work, and wouldn't come back till like 6 at night, 7 at night.
Yeah.
You know,
Do it again, yeah.
to do
Yeah.
it again the next day. And it's, I understand that it's a different time.
But men still should have to do
But
this.
yes, as a man, you
As a
should.
man, you need to
You
just
need to have some
work,
type
you need
of
to do
drive.
stuff.
You know.
You need to always be trying to achieve more.
Yes,
If
100%.
not just for if not for a family, for you more than anything, because
absolutely.
your family sees that. And I think
Yeah.
deep down inside, like, it bothered me. I remember, like, I like to even work a job during the day with the gym, and I like to be busy. And the more I get people to be there more, and I like being to do it.
Mhm.
I liked adding this podcast. Like,
Yeah.
I expect so much more of myself, and I always have just always tried to attach a ton of things.
Yeah.
And it's not like I don't want to be rich. I want to do the most I can while I'm alive.
Oh,
I want to be happy with what I've done.
But then you're also serving as an example for your son, right?
Well, him and honestly,
Or
I care
kids
about a lot of
around
people
you.
at the gym.
Like, look
You
at
know what I
all-
mean?
look
Like
at
the
all-
kids need
yeah.
help.
Look at all these kids at the gym that go to the gym. When I first
I'm
started coming to
I'm
this
teaching
gym,
them how to fucking be men.
yeah. When I first started coming to this gym, right? You saw me the first time.
Yeah.
I was a bit overweight. You know, my strength wasn't there. I was lacking in a few areas that, to be honest, I was lacking because of my fault, right? Because
Yeah.
I
People
usually
get-
held myself
you get
up to
caught.
standard. Yeah.
Yeah, you get caught up in bullshit because the world seems okay. It's soft now.
Yeah. And so finally, once I got in there, I was like, yes, home.
Yeah.
I
It's like there's something. It's like I have something I like expect of you guys, and it's not. And I expect you guys to care about yourselves and want to be more.
Yes.
Because I see everyone
Yeah.
in, like, you know, growing up, like, you all have like different strengths and weaknesses, but you guys all have like so much to offer each other
Yeah.
in fucking the town
Yeah.
and everyone.
Well, which is why I started bringing my daughter more often.
Yeah.
Because I think
She needs to be around it.
I need her to have. Not only do I need her to have the confidence to be around others and be able to say, "Hey, I don't like that."
Yeah.
But also, I want her to be strong. I want her to be able to defend herself. Like, I understand that there's a lot of feminine stuff going on nowadays, but she's still. I'm not always gonna be there.
Yeah.
Right? She goes to school.
It's not about being a feminist. It's about being a woman and being able to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
So
100%.
you know, because dad can't always be there. Like,
Yeah.
you're gonna say no to the fucking people that want you to
Mhm.
do a drug that could be laced with fentanyl.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to be in the bad position where you could get kidnapped, raped, fucking what else.
Of
Because like at
course.
the end of the day, like,
That's
you
the
know, you go off to
culture now.
school and you get hammered at a party and you go upstairs with some guy drunk and you black out.
Then what?
I mean, it's not. The guy's drunk too.
Yeah.
I don't think he intends to rape you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it's just fucking bad positioning.
Yeah.
All around the guy
Put
and
yourself
the
in a
girl.
predicament
Yes.
that you shouldn't be in.
So you just want her to fucking have the smarts to not put herself in that position. And that's it. You put her around people that tell you Giacomo grew up, like, you put him in a situation. He grew up in the fucking gym from a young age. Eventually he wanted to start working out,
Yeah.
but being around it and hearing it,
Yeah.
little by little, they absorb it. Kids hear it all.
Oh,
So
100%.
then they, little by little, and then they hear it in real life, and they put it together and they're like, yeah, that's
Yeah.
made sense, you know.
Yeah.
So
And then it's cool because
I tried to swear around her, but she's gonna
Yeah.
hear that. Ain't but the things we talk about, she's gonna piece that together, and she's gonna be so much more knowledgeable.
Oh,
Like, she is not gonna be like shocked, and she's not gonna be like, you know, like crazy about guys because
Mhm.
she's grown up around all kinds of guys.
Yeah, so she's seen it, and
Yeah.
it's funny because there's girls at the gym too, right?
Yeah, so it's normal for us all to be
your
around
lady,
together
right?
and lift
Sarah's there.
and not
What's her name again? She's the nurse.
Olivia. Oh, Erica,
Erica's there. Also Olivia,
Maddie,
Maddie, like all these
her
girls
sister.
there.
Yeah,
So like, she sees women working out
Yeah.
amongst men,
Yeah.
doing the same
we
type
all do
of
the same
workouts.
thing.
We
We work together.
Yeah, and like and nobody's like, oh, like shitting on a person. Like everybody's just like, oh, like if you fail, do it again.
Yeah,
And if
we just try to we work together.
100%.
You know, and I think that's you know, I mean, if I wish more people would bring their kids. I'm trying to do like the summer camps for kids,
Yeah.
and I would like to get more kids into it because I think that my atmosphere, what I want to build is like kind of building the old school neighborhood we grew up in.
Yes, yeah. Like kids around.
Yeah, so they
Everybody's
grow
around.
up.
It's it's like a family, but a community at the same time.
And you learn.
Yeah.
You learn how to work together, and you learn like to be in experiences, and you just build confidence to say, you know, like you said, say no and just be in bad situations. You're missing lifts. You're doing things wrong. Now, when you're a kid and you're fucking up, and you have people telling you to just do things anyways,
Yeah.
it's like that bad influence. You know what I mean? Where if you're used to failing and sticking to it and coming back, or just focusing,
Well, you need that.
yeah, you'll do that in life when all the bad shit happens
translates
too.
to life, right?
Yeah.
Like if one day you're doing a squat and you can't fucking do it. It's alright, bro.
Yeah.
It's okay. You'll be alright. Like just
shit
come
happens.
back. Like shit happens. It's not
Yeah.
always gonna be. The
another
sun
day.
is not always gonna be in the
Yeah.
perfect position.
It's another day, yeah.
So and I tell this. It's funny because my nephew. You seen him before.
Yeah.
I tell him all the time. I was like, hey, dude, like. I personally love going to the gym.
Yeah.
Right, because I use it as an outlet.
Yeah.
But there's for other people out there that don't enjoy it. What I usually recommend to them is do it anyways. Why?
Yeah.
Because you're teaching yourself to do something that even though you don't want to do it, you do it anyways.
But it is good for you.
Which is good for you,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Because you can apply that to anywhere.
Anything,
Work.
yeah.
Oh shit, I don't want to do this. But I got to do it anyways because I got responsibilities.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't.
Because in life,
know,
you have to do shit. You got to go to work. You don't feel like going to work.
Yeah.
And people just don't do things. And I'm
Which
like,
is crazy.
you got to go to work.
And
You got to
then-
get up. You got to do this. You got to do that.
And society now caters to those that don't want to do anything, and I don't understand that. I don't understand. Like for example, the whole thing with COVID, right?
Yeah.
Yes, people were locked down for
Whatever bullshit.
fucking
Yeah.
time.
Yeah,
It
it's tough.
felt like an eternity.
Yeah.
And you were just in this abyss, right?
Yeah.
Of just waking up in your living room.
Yeah.
What I did during COVID was, okay, I'm gonna start going on 3-mile runs. Go outside, throw on my headphones. I didn't see a soul.
Isn't that crazy?
And I would
We
do
just
it-
went to the gym every day. We
Yeah.
still train.
Yeah.
Giacomo was with me. I
Yeah.
still worked. And then like I was with this trucking company, so
Yeah.
we still worked. And then it was just we went to the gym there where she was open.
Yeah.
You know, but so if you don't have like you just got up and rent, you
You
have
did
to do something,
You
dude.
have to do something. You have to do something. And a lot of people came out of COVID with a lot of mental health issues
they did
because
nothing.
they did nothing. They sat there eating the Doritos,
Yeah.
eating fucking salsa and chips.
Yeah.
Like,
Got depressed as fuck.
okay, you want to eat that, no problem. But can you go give me 200 push-ups?
Yeah.
Like,
Can you do anything?
Or can you do anything? You know?
Dude,
A
some
lot
of
of
these
people
kids
came out of
coming
that
out of it are
obese.
really weak, bro. Some of these kids coming out of it.
Obese and mental health problems
Yeah.
at the same time. Not only is your body fucked up, but your head at the same time. How
You
do you
see
come out
these
of
kids like they're the most child suicides, and
Mhm.
I mean, the school shootings.
Oh, it's insane.
It blew up.
Insane.
You can't fucking fuck kids
The
up, and
fact
then
that this
it
even
be
happened,
that.
man.
It got. I know, but it's like it used to be some random shit,
Yeah.
and people like to blame it on guns. It's not the guns.
Nah.
You fucked kids up.
It's
They
people.
fucked the kid. Yeah, but they fucked the kids up
Yeah.
so bad during COVID,
Yup.
where kids who already were borderline now they're fucking shot, right?
Yeah.
So you just have a greater pool of kids depressed
And can't
and not giving a fuck. They know how to deal with it.
and don't know how to deal with bullies. Look, there's-
Bullying is not. It's like there's a difference between being
there's a
bullying.
purpose for
But
everything.
yes, there's a difference
Yes.
between being bullied
Yeah.
and just getting like brutalized. Like
Yes.
you know, people like if you were doing something stupid,
Yeah.
you got picked on in high school when we were
Of
kids, right?
course. I
And you know what you did? You just didn't fucking do it,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? That's it. You
Yeah.
didn't do it.
Or
And
you
in a
fight
couple
somebody.
days, you were friends. Yeah, you're friends again. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah. Yeah.
that was just it.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it's like you can't you do that. It's like you pick on somebody, and it's not. There's a difference. Like it's like bullying is like kids do that. They don't. They don't see the big picture.
Yes.
They don't. I remember there was kids. We were growing up. This kid, Chris and Kevin Little. They were at a different school. It was like an inner city, and Salisbury was like right in the cusp. And because we played football for different schools, they were city school, and we were on this edge of the city. We fought all the time.
Yeah.
And they were mixed, but it had nothing to do with that because we,
Yeah.
you know, it was the fact that they were city kids,
Yeah.
and we were like the slight suburb kids, and it was like, you know, kind of like a West Side Story, stupid shit. But it was like a football. It was a different school thing.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't think of it as that, but we always fought. And then our senior year, we're all at this bar, and my group got jumped by like a large group of people from SU, college kids, and they helped us.
Yeah.
And then we became friends, and they were at my wedding.
That's
I mean,
awesome.
because we realized we had more in common. We just fought each other because fucking different school, and it really schools were like hate each other. Oh, you go to that school, they hate each other. You know, I'd say back in the day, but there was no no real hate there.
No,
It was like bullshit. Kids hate.
Kids
pick
style
on.
of hate, right?
Yeah.
Like,
So that's
petty
stupid.
shit. Yeah.
And kids have to have that, so they learn. They learn to have disagreements. They learn to fight. They learn to even fist fight
Yeah.
and not stab each other, not shoot each other.
Yeah.
They learn to have disagreements, fight like men,
Whatever
and then
happened
come
to-
out
whatever
and be
happened
okay
to,
with it. That's
whatever,
it.
Whatever happened to shooting the fair one?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Well, you fist fought.
you'd
That
be
was
like,
it.
oh, you got a problem with me?
Yeah.
Let's go
Whoever
outside.
says they
That's
stop
it.
is stop. You know what I mean?
That's
You
it. And it
don't
was
pummel
done. And
somebody.
it's crazy, right?
That's it.
Because then back in the day, you used to have an issue.
People were usually friends after that.
Yeah, they'll
Bro, like literally, because they realized like, okay, like, it was more of like and that's
ego,
good, it's like a
energy.
masculine thing.
Yes.
And we don't see that because there's no masculinity.
Well, now everybody's
And
pulling
these
out
kids
their
are
phone.
just shooting each other.
Or either they're pulling out their gun or their phone.
So no one's really, but they're not even, it's like fucking so crazy.
Yeah, it's insane.
And then these kids that are shooting schools because they got picked on a little bit. Well, you know what? I mean, it's okay to get picked on growing up.
100%.
Because you get tougher, like, you know, it's like your skin gets tough. It's like deadlifting, like your calluses, like, you get tough. You should fucking have that.
That's what I tell Soraya all the time. Well, my daughter, I tell her all the time. I'm like, hey, listen, you know, like
Some people only like you.
little
That's
girls,
it.
little girls are mean.
just
They're
like
gonna,
boys
They're gonna
to
say
each other.
nasty
Yeah.
things. And
Who cares?
What do you? And I ask her like, what are you gonna do about it?
Eh.
Oh, I don't know, Daddy. Like I'm like, Mama, just think about it. What are you gonna do about it? Is either you say stop, or you say back off, and if they don't do that, then you take
Smack them, punch them in the mouth. Yeah.
you take the next level,
Yeah.
right? But you progress, you like
Stand up
look
for
at
yourself,
it,
yeah.
and you just learn to communicate and tell people like, yo, I don't like this shit.
Yeah.
Or the opposite, right? Oh,
Yeah.
I agree with you. I
Yeah.
think what you did was right.
Yeah.
Like we don't hear that anymore. We don't
No.
hear people. People have such a hard time having a conversation about things that they disagree with.
Oh, fuck.
Because if you don't,
sure,
if you don't fall in line with their beliefs,
Oh my
all of a
God.
sudden you get
Everything
put
is
into
wrong.
a subcategory of sorts that you yourself don't even align with, right?
No.
And then all of a sudden now that's how people view you.
Bro, I literally
Like-
don't tell people usually I'm conservative until after. If they're like, when I moved here, there was this woman from this gas station,
Yeah.
and she's Mexican, and she was like, so I was always going there and talking. So one time I had like the Rhino Strong, like the
Yeah.
Patriot
Mhm.
Strong thing,
Mhm.
and she was like, "Are you one of the people that raided the Capitol?" I'm like, "Well, first I nobody raided the Capitol; they were let in." And I'm like, second, I was like, "Do you know what?" She was,
That's
she was, I didn't think you were racist. I'm like,
What are you talking
I'm
about?
like,
How did you
honey, I
come up
like
with that?
you. What are you talking about? She's like, well, I was like, listen, I go, first of all, I go, you know what, Patriot? I made her look it up on her phone, Patriot, like
Yeah.
pride in one country and stuff. And
Yeah.
she's like, oh, she's like, that's why I moved to this country. It's the best country.
Yeah.
I'm like, so you're technically you're a Patriot. She's like, yes, I am. You know, it's like,
Yeah, yeah.
and she's like, oh, I
the
never
realization,
thought,
you
yeah.
can see the light
And I'm
bulb
like,
going on.
yeah, you're a patriot too, literally, because that's why you came here, because you love
Yeah,
this
yeah.
country, right? And I'm like,
Yeah.
but I wait for people to know me, and then I let say things, and then I just have talks with them, because I think there's a huge misconception,
Mhm.
and then I think there's a whole group of people that are so tricked in thinking one way all the time that they're not voting, or they're not believing in what the person's values are.
Yes. Yes.
they're going on by either left or right,
Which
and
doesn't-
what other media tells you left and right is, or whether the school tells you, or the college tells you left or right is, or whatever, Instagram or YouTube or Twitter or you know what I mean, Snapchat, all that shit. So they don't look at it and say, you know, like, okay, well, if all the conservative Republicans in this area want safe neighborhoods, they want lower taxes, they want this, they want that,
Mhm.
and all the Democrats on this area in my town keep wanting higher taxes. They keep saying anti-cop things, which leads to more crime, and they keep this and that. I'm gonna vote for the one,
That
you know what I mean, that
benefits-
just benefits my fucking town and my family.
Yes.
I'm not gonna vote for the one. And lately, it's unfortunately, I'm sorry, but it's true. It's been all conservative Republican lately
Yeah.
because the Democrats have gone off the deep end,
Yeah.
and I think that they're trying to cater to the media and to the
Yeah.
woke mob. They're
And it's-
scared.
Yeah.
They're scared to go against. Because I think half of them are
Yeah.
sensible, but they're scared to stand up for
Because
it.
then they're gonna get canceled, right?
Yeah, so they're scared to get canceled. They don't want to be lumped in like us.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, Trump was a Democrat that ran for the Republican Party, and all of a sudden he was racist. Wait a minute.
But-
He's in every old rap song. Yo, all those motherfucker old rappers all used to go to Trump Towers, and they went to all
They
his
get money.
parties
They
and
used to-
shit.
All these people, you know what's crazy
Yeah.
about that? All these people used to
people-
go to him for
Yeah,
loans,
yeah.
for money,
And he gave it to him.
and
All
now
these
look,
businesses, he's a business owner. You think he doesn't like a certain race?
It's you know what's funny about that? And I tell this to people all the
Fucking
time.
dumb.
People with money will never sit there and have a conversation about race.
No.
Because it does not apply.
No.
Right?
Money's money.
Money is
He's
money.
rich.
It's-
He's run a business.
Yeah, like if I'm
You don't give a fuck.
if
You
the
have
guy
cash.
across from me
Pay for it.
has cash,
Yeah.
and it just happened to be he's black,
Yeah.
and I'm Spanish and I have cash, and we're talking, we're making a business deal.
Yeah.
We're not
Nobody
sitting there,
gives a fuck about your
nobody's
race.
talking about
Yeah.
race. He's the guy's trying to make his money, and I'm
Stupid.
trying to make my
Yeah.
money. It's very
It's because he was he was the first person ever to come out who wasn't a politician,
true.
and just by chance he went Republican.
Yeah.
And it's because he was seeing a slow decline in New York City.
Yeah.
He was there. He was watching the slow decline of the Democrats, the city run by Democrats.
Mhm.
So he wanted to go the other way.
Look at De Blasio's term.
Fuck yeah.
Completely leveled.
Yeah. So
Leveled.
he decided to go Republican because of that.
That's crazy.
And they hated him for it, but I think more they hated him because they knew what he stood for was not an old school politician.
Yeah.
And what he was saying was right. So that's why even half the right hates him too because of
Like-
that. Because they're getting paid by all the fucking
Yeah.
you know these
Oh,
business venture people.
it's
This
all-
fucking you know they're getting paid by the same people too. So the left and right in Congress,
Yeah. They all get money.
They're all
from
the
one,
same guy,
it's-
yeah.
It's interesting, right? 'Cause
Trump's the only
there's-
person that got poor as a president. It's
There's
fucking crazy.
the two sides, right? The
Yeah.
two sides, right? The Democrat and the Republican.
Yeah.
Like, if anybody looks at it, the question should be is where's the money coming from,
Yeah.
right? So
Soros,
like the military, like
yeah,
industrial
military
complex,
complex, yeah.
like that's all that's funded. And then the only thing that's happening is that these two parties are being used to move people around and you know and put them in certain places. But what it's doing is keeping people distracted from what's really going on, right?
So if people started voting for, instead of just voting for your party, vote for people that you think.
Yes, and do your research. I'm
Yeah.
not, and I hate
Listen, I'm not saying a Democrat could come out that would be right lately.
Right.
I just think they're just from what I've been watching,
Mhm.
they're so fucking scared to go against the party line right
Yeah.
now that there's only like a couple Republicans
yeah.
that didn't vote to send our billions of dollars to
Right.
fucking Ukraine. And
Yes.
people are saying they're all stooges of, Russia and Putin, and I'm like, no, these
Bro.
these guys just don't want to put our tax dollars away.
Brother.
That's why me and you want them there.
As
We don't
as-
want the rest of the Republicans there. We want people that don't want to give our
Like,
tax dollars
it's
away.
crazy because as the people in the
Fuck.
U.S. are literally like bickering with one another,
Yeah,
Russia and China are out here making agreements.
yeah.
So now,
With
so
the Middle
then-
East too.
so then it's crazy,
They're
right?
stupid.
I served. I've seen Iraqi capabilities. These people don't need a conventional army to level a city.
Yeah.
They don't need a uniform. They could just tank top, t-shirt,
They just do it.
flip flops, and they
Yeah.
go out there with the AKs and
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Or they make
They're dedicated.
IDs or
Yeah.
they don't care about the whole all this other shit, right?
Yeah.
And then Russia and China are playing the long game.
Yes. Yeah, they're playing chess. with
Now
us.
now
Yeah.
they're sitting here like
They're financially,
the
and they're
enemy
hitting
of
our
my
oil.
enemy
Yeah, they're
is my
playing.
friend.
They're playing off that.
So now we put ourselves in a position that is
Not good.
100%.
And we get most of our stuff from China, so we can't even win this one financially
Oh no,
or economically. We can't.
How many
We're dependent upon
trillions
them.
of dollars are we in debt as a country? Like
We're dependent.
It's insane.
And this is all over a corrupt country of Ukraine, completely corrupt,
Crazy.
which is like an oligarch that's getting money probably from our tax dollars and probably has been for the last fucking 10, 12 years.
We already in a proxy war.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that
Which
is
is
that
scary.
even though we're not
It's a
physically
Cold War.
in there,
We're there.
we're funding we're sending them weapons.
I'll tell you what now, what would happen to the roles reversed if someone was funding against us? We'd be attacking them.
Oh, 100%.
We're lucky Russia isn't fucking throwing. It's because I think Putin, people can say whatever he wants. He's not stupid either. Like, he's looking and he's like, he probably understands too that the people in power in this country are fucking stupid.
Yeah.
And he's hoping it doesn't last.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean? He's not gonna nuke because then you know what I'm saying? He kills his people. He's not crazy, people say. He's just a hard ass. You know, he's the person that they need. Just like we need someone like Trump, even though the people he talked to, you know, he said the truth.
Yeah,
He's
talks a lot of
brass.
shit, but
He's really like, brass. Like he says what the fuck he wants.
He says what
But
he
it's
wants,
shit that needs to be said.
and it's not sugar coated, right?
And it's funny, like it's shit that we all been thinking.
Yeah.
But like he says it now, we talk about it because like, you know, it made me, and the more even his second, and then like when he lost because of this corrupt fucking thing that happened, like it made me see like how many people even on the right, people in Congress were against him, and I'm like, it's because they hated him too because he was getting into their pocket from all the corrupt money they were getting before. He was cutting all these things off from the United Nations and everything else. I'm like,
what I tell people about that is instead of looking at him for his personality,
what he did.
Maybe you should look at his policies.
Yeah, what he
Maybe
did for the
you should
country,
look at
where we were,
where we at when he left.
We were better off during the first year of coronavirus than we are economically than now.
That's
Isn't that fucking crazy, bro? The country was almost shut down, and economically, shit was cheaper.
But we were giving people checks for no reason.
But things are still cheaper, isn't that? Well, it's worse because all that money they gave for checks doesn't touch what we've given to Ukraine. Not even touch.
Not even close.
So
not even close.
Our economy was better. Our economy was better during a fucking national pandemic.
Yeah.
When we shut our country down. Nobody's looking at that shit, right? But they're like, oh, you know, like Trump was like, yeah, I'm almost fucking convinced it was let loose to get him out. I don't believe he would have lost if there wasn't coronavirus. It was a cycle of things. Coronavirus, George Floyd. Then they tried to push, like the conservatives, you know, Republicans were all racist and we were evil and we didn't care. And like, remember, like they were mad because we said it came from China, which it did come from China. You know, we didn't want to get vaccinated to wear masks, so we're evil. We want to kill grandma.
But are we seeing all these people dropping dead on camera?
Bro,
just literally, they're just talking. Boop.
Erica said at the hospital she works at, every day, multiple kids come in with that cardiac problem.
Yeah, myocarditis.
Every day. She said she never saw it before. The year she was there, never saw it once. Now she sees it every single day. How the fuck is that?
I had a huge fight with my wife a while ago. This was years when schools were forcing kids to do the shot. So I'm like, I look at her, I was like, hey, listen, I'm not okay with giving the baby the shot.
Yeah. Which one?
The Pfizer or whatever.
This is coronavirus one?
Yeah. And I was like,
2 years when they first started saying it, yes.
Because, you know, she was going into school, and then we didn't know if the school was going to force it upon us to give her. So I'm like, no.
We would have moved. Yeah.
I would have.
Yeah.
Listen, she could have left me for all I care. I would have took my kid with me.
God, I wish. So my brother caved to it. I don't know for sure, but I know my brother got it because he didn't have to. He got it because he didn't want to hear her.
Yeah.
And I hope his son didn't get it.
Like I got forced to get it because my job was.
But it's a little different. You're older.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The people that are having problems are young kids.
Oh yeah, athletes that never had an issue.
You know Brock?
Yeah, I know
Brock's parents have made him get. He's been vaccinated multiple times,
Like
boosted,
boosted?
oh everything, dude.
Oh, yeah.
And it's funny, since his last booster, he's had problems with his stomach.
Oh,
For we used to joke that it was like stomach cancer, but like he literally has had problems since he's had all those.
that's
He was
weird.
fine before then,
That's
and they don't know what it
concerning,
is. They said
How do you take a vaccine that you didn't even test it?
no,
You didn't even
nope.
most of these medical
Take 5 to
drugs,
10 years,
yeah,
dude.
they
This
go
was
through
nothing. It was like
rigorous,
months. There you go. Good luck.
and then they go, oh, and then they started first. They started with it was 90% effective.
Yeah,
3
yeah.
months later, it went to 80. Then it went to
Doesn't
70.
make it now. You
Then it
can
went
catch
to
it no matter
50.
what.
Now it doesn't even matter.
But they still push people to get it. You know that they're still. Like Fauci was out the other day at some place. I think it was in Chicago.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're doing the inner city. They're tricking people. I don't understand why these people don't read or don't do their homework, man. They don't, bro. Because they sit and watch CNN. They're fucked.
Yeah.
So they went there and they were like, oh, well, and this one black dude was like, yo, he's like, the fact that you want to give me money to get the shot, he goes, tells me fucking no. And he was like pissed off. He's at the door of his house. He's like, nope. And some woman's like, well, how much? Down the street. And he's like, oh, it's your kid.
Yeah,
What?
That's ridiculous. You know they
They're
were,
gonna pay you to no
NYCDOC
fuck no, people don't fake
were-
pay you.
Yo, they were offering officers, what was it, like a couple $100 to go get the shot?
Oh my god, dude.
Come on, bro. Come on. Like, and it's crazy because I fought it to the end. I didn't take it until it got to the point where they were like, yo, if you don't take this shot, you're gonna get
Bill
fired.
did. They were gonna fire him. And it was funny,
I
it was
had
like
to.
2 weeks later, then they lifted
Yeah,
the whole thing.
they lifted it, and so now I'm pissed, right? Because
But
I've never had
you have any issues since then?
no, like,
Oh, that's good.
well, I don't know because to be honest, I don't really go to doctors like that. But while I was growing up, I never really had like health issues like that.
Yeah.
So like, if all of a sudden now I'm having chest pains or
You are?
breathing, no, like just saying like in general.
Oh, okay.
Like if I start having chest pains,
You know that's why. Yeah.
that's the only thing
Yeah.
that I did that was different
Out of the
from-
ordinary,
out
your
of the
whole
ordinary.
life, yeah.
So then, come on, like how are you forcing people to take some shit that might kill them, and you're not even doing that?
They
Look
don't
it
care,
up,
dude.
Aaron Rodgers. Well, is it Aaron Rodgers or is it Aaron Rodgers from the Green Bay Packers?
What happened?
So he has he has allergies to a particular component in the COVID vaccination. So the whole time he's telling the NFL like, dude, like I can't take it. You're gonna kill me if I take the shot. And they fucking kicked him out, bro.
Oh, really?
I don't think.
No way.
And then he had to fight to get back into the league. Like it was crazy. Like there was this whole big deal. He came on a podcast with Joe Rogan, and he sat there and showed the paperwork and explained like, yo, it's not that I don't want to take it, it's that I can't because it's gonna kill me.
Yeah.
And they didn't give a fuck. They treated him different. They fucking.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, it was crazy, bro. Yeah. Then society, like, I don't know why they're allowing this shit to happen, dude. Like, how many people have to die before somebody's like, yo.
Because people just, they don't dig it. Whatever they see on CNN or MSNBC, they're not looking, like further. And I'm not saying this about Fox, but they've been against it against forcing people, I would say, from the get-go.
Mhm.
Like, more so because this is America and you shouldn't have to force somebody. And it's not like if you take a polio vaccine, you're not going to get polio.
Yeah.
If you take this vaccine, you can still catch it.
Which is not
The
a
whole
vaccine.
idea of getting the vaccine is so you don't get polio or don't get coronavirus, but you catch it.
That's the whole point of a vaccine.
And now they're finding out you've been vaccinated. If you catch it, it could be worse. You could have worse
because you're
reactions.
compromised.
Yeah, because you have fake antibodies in there and your body didn't learn to produce them naturally.
Yes.
And what I think I've seen a lot too, I've heard like people who had coronavirus and then got the vaccination, it doesn't affect them because their body knew how to make their own antibodies first.
Yes.
So if you had it before you got the vaccination, you're fine.
I had COVID. I didn't even know I had.
Yeah, so if you had it before and then got vaccinated, you're fine. Now, I don't know about getting millions of vaccines and boosters and stuff, but taking one shot, if you had it before, like Bill had it before, we all had it.
Yeah.
In the gym. And then he was forced right at the end to get the shot,
Yeah.
and he's been fine. So I think because his body made its own antibodies because he had it the first time.
Okay.
My grandmother, like eventually she got the shot, but that was like when they made it was like a year later, 2 years later. But she had already had COVID twice. So
Yeah.
I don't know why she even got it. She had it twice.
Yeah,
You know what I
but she
mean? But
probably
like,
didn't, like,
who knows why? You
Don't-
know what I'm saying? But like, she
like,
already
yeah.
had it twice. She doesn't make antibodies. You know.
Mhm.
But I just don't get. And then you got kids that are like, they have tons of antibodies and they're strong. Like,
Yeah.
why are you forcing them to take something like that?
It's money. You want me? If I could be honest, I think it's money. I think every time that one of these shots gets administered, somebody gets a check.
More so. So now they're creating this heart problem with kids. So is that more medical
That's
bills?
more money.
Yeah.
That's 100%
And
more
not
money.
just
Pharmaceutical
So
companies.
if they're finding out that, if they have, if they run a lot extensively, if they work out heavy, this and that, their heart can, maybe they won't do any exercise, maybe they do nothing. They become more passive.
Is more expensive.
And an unhealthy person is easy to control too.
Yeah, mentally and physically.
Yeah, so now, if you have myocarditis, you can never work out, you can never really do sports. So they created a whole wave of kids that are weak.
That's crazy.
Easy to control, right? So that's a whole other way to think that they did this to easier to control.
Yeah. Then population control at its best.
Yeah, bro. Like, you don't have to control it by killing people.
No, of course not.
But how is that any better than? How's that any? How's? I know this is gonna sound horrible, but how is that worse? How is that better than Hitler? How's it worse? How is that? How is Hitler? I know it's bad, but it's like Hitler killed people. We're fucking people's hearts up.
Yeah.
Intentionally.
I feel like they're both
evil. It's both evil.
It's evil in its entirety, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Like, obviously, it's worth to kill someone based on their race or like off the notch. But then this one is also evil. It's like you can't take two things that are equally evil and say one's great. They're both fucking horrible to do.
Horrible to people.
And you're doing it over money and control. Hitler did it over money and control, or not money, but control.
And he also did it. He also did experiments on people.
Yes, kind of like Pfizer does. So it's like it's fucked up. And then you look at how people were generations grew up next to Jewish people, these German people, and Hitler tells them all this shit, and they were literally turning in their neighbor that they knew for generations, knowing they were going to get killed.
Yeah.
Why? Crazy. Because of fear. Because they threw all this fear mongering about the Jewish people, right? Kind of like they did to people who weren't vaccinated, people who didn't wear masks.
Oh, you're
well, the news you're killing people. You don't care about people.
You don't care about people.
We are the problem. Remember, we were the problem.
Oh yeah.
It was like they said it was like the people like me, like in that fact, like a severe winter of death and disease or something. Like, remember fucking Biden? And then, the one time he actually had a coherent sentence.
And it's even what makes it even worse is that they implement it in everything you do on your daily, right? The TV, the shows you watch, the movies, the cartoons, the schools, like every single thing is like it's like they pushing it so much that it's almost like your brain doesn't have an option but to comply, right?
Yeah.
Because no matter what avenue you take, it's thrown in there.
There's
something thrown in the mix. Yeah. Always thrown in the mix.
There's total between that and the whole crazy out of control you can be any gender you want.
I think that's a social contagion.
So it's everyone, they're doing it because people are doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you get a kid that is not real popular. He sees all the other kids popular because they become trans and they're Instagram and they want to be part of that, so they become doing it.
And what they're not showing are
kind of like people wearing masks that didn't know why they're wearing a mask.
Yeah. And what they're not showing is the people who
their lives are being destroyed.
Who transitioned.
Oh, right? Their lives are destroyed.
And then
realized a couple years
in the back end when
man.
And they're like, yo, what the fuck did I do?
Oh fuck, dude. Can you imagine that?
Yo. Really? Like little girls getting
there would be absolute no. As a parent, when you're 21, you move out of my house, I can't control you. You're here, you are not.
Look,
no fucking way.
This is my
fucking
philosophy
way.
In regards to that is, if you want to identify as whatever, by all means, go ahead and do it. But please,
leave my kid out of it.
Leave my kid out of it.
I don't give a fuck. We've been around that our
whole
life.
Raise my kid. I want to raise my kid.
We didn't give a fuck growing up today. We didn't give a fuck about trans people, gay people. I didn't give a fuck.
You want to be gay, whatever. I don't care, dude.
Leave my fucking kid out of it. Yeah, right? Let my kid grow up a kid.
But there's no reason that a 5-year-old.
My kid doesn't need to know about sexual genders, and my kid doesn't need to know about fucking trannies reading books to me
No.
and shit. And which is funny, most of those ones that read books are all like pedophiles or have been arrested or something like that, which is crazy. I'm sure there's ones that haven't been arrested.
No, of course
So
not,
why
yeah.
are the ones that are reading books in these places all? Isn't that crazy, bro? It's because a normal person that's a trans person, right,
Yeah.
doesn't want to be around fucking children because
Yeah.
they just believe that that's what gender they were.
Yeah. And they just want to be happy.
They want to be
live
happy
their
by
lives.
themselves, but they
Yeah.
don't want to incorporate children in that.
Yeah. I don't know why.
That it's
all of a
only the
sudden-
fucking weirdos that want to incorporate children.
Or like family friendly drag show.
Dude,
That's not even a thing.
how about a family friendly strip club?
Are
Would
they
that
gonna,
make sense to you? Would you
like-
bring your daughter to a family friendly strip club? Would you bring your daughter to a Hooters that all the girls were naked?
Yeah.
No, it's Free Kid Tuesdays. They can
No,
eat
my
whatever
God.
they want.
All the
Chicken wings, you want? Yeah.
unlimited wings.
You're like, yeah, I think no on this one. That's the same fucking thing. You
And,
don't want to see
you know,
anyone
like-
fucking like
And
that.
I feel like you have to preface it like we're not saying don't go off and be happy. What
Yeah.
we're saying is just
Leave the kids alone. That's
Like,
all I'm
go-
saying. The thing is, I don't give a fuck what anyone does.
Yeah.
Do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be talked about in school.
Yes.
It does
I
not.
100% agree.
You want to talk about in college? It's fine. They're adults.
Yeah.
But in high school, middle school, elementary school, fuck no.
And for all the
That's what the
parents,
guidance counselor's there for.
For all those
You know what I'm
parents that deal with this, like where the kid who just comes up to them one day and it's just like, hey, like mom, dad, I think I'm this. What if it was my kid?
Yeah.
What I would tell my kid, I was like, I understand that this is how you feel
Right now.
right now,
Can you
But-
sit on this for a couple years?
but just do me the favor and sit on this for a couple years because I'm pretty sure that when you mature, your mind is gonna be a little different and you're gonna think a little different. You
How many
know?
girls, like even high school, think about it, like that, like thought they were like bi, and then they kissed
Yeah,
a
and
girl,
the
and
next
then
thing
they
you
grew up
know-
and they realized they weren't.
Hopping on cacks.
Yeah, exactly, right? So like, you know what I mean? Like, God forbid. Nowadays they would have been like, oh, you must be a boy. That's why you like girls.
I see
So
it
have
all
a
the
sex
time.
change,
I
and
see
then
it happen all the
that
time.
girl cannot ever have a family. She's fucked.
It's done. Not only did you pump her with,
And you think
all
so?
the, like,
Now it's okay. Like
puberty
she's gonna be
blockers.
depressed as fuck. You ruined her life.
That's crazy.
Whose fault is now? Is it my fault for saying she shouldn't have done that?
How I don't understand how something that is naturally part of the female growth cycle
Should be stopped.
should be stopped. It's
Fuck,
natural.
dude.
It's part of their body. That's what they're
Yeah.
supposed to do. Like this is
But isn't that kind of prejudiced, or I can't say racist, not a different race, but isn't that prejudiced or sexist towards lesbians?
dude. I think
Right? Because you're saying you're not
Yeah.
really a lesbian, you're
Dude,
a man.
the most toxic.
Isn't that weird?
You know how people talk about
So why
toxic
not lesbians?
masculinity?
Shouldn't lesbians care?
What's
people
more
are saying-
toxic? Check
Yeah.
this one out. What's more toxic? A dude invading women's spaces dressed like a woman.
Yeah. Or a guy.
Or a guy just
Just
saying
being masculine.
Being masculine.
Yeah.
So what's more toxic?
It's
That's crazy,
the
dude.
guy dressed like a
Yeah.
woman beating the fuck out of women in MMA. Or going into fucking winning the track and getting
Yeah,
some
and the
girl
swimming
bumped
races and all
off the
that- all
fucking
everything.
off her college fucking scholarship because he wasn't fucking man enough to fucking win out as a man. Now he's got to fucking compete as a woman.
That's crazy, dude.
That's bullshit.
So now you're killing,
A woman's chance.
which is against
It's
the
her.
one thing that they believe in, which is the feminist.
You think the feminists don't even fight for this? I don't understand it, bro.
It's
Don't
like-
fucking
it's-
get it.
It's the one thing that they preach, right?
You
They
should
want
think-
they want equal opportunity,
Yeah.
equal rights to men, right? But then you put women in a predicament
Isn't that a
where
slap in the face? Isn't it like saying, I guess men are better at everything, even being a woman.
like that's crazy.
Did you see Biden gave an award for Woman of the Year? It was a man. That's how fucking great men are. We are even better women.
That's wild.
We just can't have children.
We don't
Fucking nuts, bro. We don't bleed. Fucking nuts.
Yeah.
So this fucking dude just got like a fucking tampon. I can't remember his name. He was Biden, of course. Biden had him
Yeah.
come to the fucking White House. Dylan something.
Oh, yeah.
Mulvaney.
Yeah.
You see this guy?
Dude, Tampax or whatever, some tampon company gave him a contract, bro. Gave him a fucking contract. He's putting that tampon in his ass.
That's crazy, dude. I don't understand.
What the fuck is he? What does he have like?
How about
What does he
this?
have like? Bad diarrhea?
How
Like
about
what is he fucking doing with the tampon in his ass?
I think that if you're really serious about transitioning, right? make it where you have to be a specific age,
Yeah, and then,
right?
and then
Like
you have to
it's
wait a couple years too.
right,
got
and then you gotta wait a
yeah.
couple years, and then if you're really serious, no matter what happens, you gotta cut your shit off.
Yeah. Yes. Well, if you're listen,
If you're so
if you're
serious,
so tough about your
Yeah.
tough guy. It's kind of like if that's what you really are, then
can't
fucking
keep
do
it.
it. Cut
You
that shit
can't
off.
keep it.
Yeah.
There's
You say you're a woman, cut your dick off. If not, then you're just gay.
yeah,
it's-
which is no problem.
No, and the thing is, like,
It's not.
I
a
don't
problem.
understand why gay people. There is a lot I've seen on social media and stuff like that that are like that are totally against this because they're like
Yeah.
it's almost like people are saying it's wrong, not right for them to be gay.
Which is 100% incorrect too, right?
Yeah, it's
okay.
bullshit.
It's okay for you to be whatever.
Whatever.
You want to be gay, go be gay.
But they
wanna
tell
be
you,
lesbian, go
oh
be
no,
lesbian.
you're not really a gay man. You must be a female.
Nah. I don't
You're
agree
trapped
with
in a
that.
man's body. No, like he just likes guys.
Yeah. I don't
It's
agree
so
with that.
fucking crazy. So like they're always finding this new like crazy fucking like when you think the left hasn't gone crazy enough,
It gets even
they
crazier.
get crazier. And that's why like I met this woman in fucking ShopRite the other day or Acme ShopRite where Vasar used to work,
Mhm.
and she's Jamaican, and I was talking to this old guy, this old white guy, and I was walking. We're talking about chicken or something. We're like that, and I was like, he's like this and that. He's bitching about chicken price,
Oh
and he's
my
like, well,
God.
and he's like, well, everything's crazy. Like, look at people. He goes, they think that there's men fighting as women in women's sports. He's like, the world's crazy. So this Jamaican lady was walking by. She's like, probably in her 60s. She was like, oh, she's like, don't get me started. And we all started talking.
Yeah.
And then there's some really tall black dude walks by, and he's like, so like we're all talking, and they're all looking around, and I'm like, are you guys nervous to talk? And they're like, and they all kind of said like,
yeah.
because in their neighborhood they've been like literally like shunned
Yeah.
because they voted Democrat forever. They're seeing this and they're like,
And they're
done.
starting to see
For their
it.
town, when they had the town elections, they all voted all Republican.
That's
And the people
crazy.
from the neighborhood that found out are shunning them. And they're like, we want a
But
good
aren't those
neighborhood.
things supposed to be?
We want a good neighbor. We don't want the fucking crime. We don't want. They see Biden destroying, and they don't want. And they see the town, and they want. They don't. They're not. They're just like. They're like. We're switched to Republican because we want. She's like. I just had to vote the whole way across the board. She goes because the left has lost its mind. She goes. I've went there for so many years. She goes, and I'm watching my neighborhood get destroyed.
Yeah.
She goes, and I'm watching all this stuff happen, and this tall black dude saying the same thing, and like he was younger, so like we were all getting weird age, we were all different age, but so we were definitely, and it's weird if you look at us all, how we talk, we all come from different walks of life, how we talk,
100%.
but it was like we were all completely in agreement on life and how we all believe about each other, you know what I'm saying? And like the old neighborhoods and this and that we talked about,
You know
and like
what?
he was in his early 20s,
Yeah.
she was, and then there's me, so it was like we were this vast, but like there's a lot of people that still yearn for something better in what we used to be.
Yes. Yes.
But people are scared to touch. So they're willing to vote, but they were nervous. They heard so then another person. So then you know what I mean. So like, but they wouldn't say it on their own because they're scared.
Like it's gotten to the point where what is that party that's always like in between?
The libertarian.
I'm even thinking there, right? And I'm even thinking it's funny, right? Because there's this one lady.
The problem with the libertarian
You just have
party,
to
and
be
it's not a
careful.
problem.
Yeah.
It's not a problem. It's if you vote libertarian, it's not. It takes what you believe is still 90% of what the conservative party does.
Yeah.
You're going to lose. You're voting for a belief.
Yeah.
True, you don't want majority of those people still in Washington,
Yeah.
but you're voting for a belief, hoping they do the right thing.
Yes.
But the other one's totally crazy, right? even though they were totally, with Trump in, they were kind of like nervous and kept in line.
Yeah, a little bit.
You know what I'm saying? Better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like he didn't get to implement everything he wanted to, but he implemented a lot more than now.
Until they full-fledged started attacking the dude. Right?
Yeah. So it's like I think with the right conservative president, they'll at least hide their feelings.
Mhm.
The people in Congress and sit there.
Like-
But I think you have to not vote. You lose those votes, and I'll tell you right now, and I think the same way. It's like I think when you think of everything, you're like I'm more libertarian. But it's like if I don't vote conservative, you're never gonna find a Democrat to say I vote libertarian. They're hardcore like nope, Democrat for life. The
Which
town's
is
falling apart.
insane.
Don't care.
Because
There's more crime. Don't care. My
people
kids are dumb
change.
as fuck. Don't care.
People like This is the whole point. This is the whole.
It's okay to make changes.
The whole aspect of being a human being is having the ability to
growth and
change, grow, think different,
think
do
on your
things
own,
different, like
and hope for better.
Yeah,
you know, especially better for your kids, your
100%.
family. You know, like
a lot of people's perspectives change the moment they have kids.
Yeah,
and maybe that should be something that is
well,
promoted
it
more
can't
often,
be if
right?
you're trying to keep the father out of the home. If you're trying to say that men can have, you know, this crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to tell women they shouldn't have kids,
which is insane.
You know what I mean? So like, yeah, you're fucking. They're fucking the family up,
Like
big time. They're doing it deliberately.
Well, I don't know what's wrong with the nuclear family. There's nothing that like I don't know why people are so against
a family.
A family. They're like, why wouldn't you?
If that's what's meant to be.
Like
animals have families. It's like
come on.
You just
like
they
all have families. Like every creature across the board, regardless
you
of
have to have. There's men and female, and they
make
babies, offspring. Yeah,
offspring, and some. Don't get me wrong. Some species are more ruthless than others.
Yeah,
but at the end of the day, they all have.
There's still a certain community.
Yes, and they all do the same thing.
Yeah.
Some animals move in herds. Some animals move individually. But as human beings, yes, we are apex in regards to the hierarchy of creatures,
isn't
of
it
animals.
Weird how we're like
we're
going backwards.
Yeah, and we self-destruct.
Yeah, each other.
Yeah, all
this
the time.
fucking makes no sense. I mean, if we keep going at this rate, we don't need a fucking nuclear war. We don't need a meteor hit us. We're gonna wipe out ourselves.
Yeah, 100%.
Fucked up vaccines, all this shit. Not people having children. The women's body will get fucked up so bad it will totally reject the sperm. They won't be able to have kids. So then you're gonna rely on just fucking, like, I don't know, like fucking like the in vitro fake egg.
That was it's scary. You know, it might be a little personal, but that was one thing that before I had my daughter, it was in question, right? She used to tell me like, oh, I don't know if I can have kids.
Yeah.
And I was confident within myself.
Yeah.
But I was like,
okay, if you can't, you can't. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll figure it out, right? Yeah. But it just happened to be, baby.
Yeah.
So, like,
but can you imagine if they're growing them?
Oh my God. There's a book that I'm reading about that too.
Really?
It's called.
But if they're growing, if you imagine like all the vaccines, all the things will already be pumped into that baby at birth. Yeah. Before it comes out, dude.
I wish I remember the name of the book, but it's a pretty old book. It's about.
We growing children.
Literally growing children in labs.
Really? It's an old book.
It's pretty old. I have it on my Kindle if you want.
You gotta tell me after, yeah.
Yeah, but it's pretty interesting.
And it's not impossible for us to go that way.
Yeah, because the way the book is set up, they're talking about like, oh, we're taking certain aspects out of people so they can be a certain way, and so they're
control them or
so like we condition kids to not be afraid of darkness, so we put them in the dark since the day they were born, or like some crazy shit like that, right? Like, but the book, it's a fictional book, but
it could happen.
It could happen.
Yeah,
you're
like
weird.
You didn't think coronavirus. You didn't think people would shut a whole world down.
Well, yeah,
after that, you believe anything can happen, right?
Oh yeah. After experiencing that, anything is possible now, dude.
Who would have thought? Like, you can't open your business. You can't go home. What do you mean you can't leave your house? Like,
what?
And some countries are worse. Australia was bad. China, it's still bad.
Australia was like house arrest.
Yeah,
like,
you can't leave.
You couldn't leave your house.
There was people calling police in Syracuse on people. If you had multiple people over for like maybe holidays, Thanksgiving and stuff like Christmas, you couldn't have more than like 10 people at your house. People are calling police on people in Syracuse for that.
Yeah. That's crazy. All
that's
those
madness, bro.
That their family members were dying, but the hospital wouldn't let you go see your family.
That's fucked up, dude. That's fucked up. It's fucked up.
Insane.
Yo, if I would have went anyways. They would have had to fucking kill me if my kid was in the hospital.
Like, you're not gonna stop me from going in there.
You'd have to kill me, not arrest me, kill me, because I'm not. I'm going in there armed. I'm not. I'm going to see my kid.
Is that you gonna let me go in?
That's it.
Or I'm taking all of you.
Yeah, you're gonna need a lot more doctors on. You're gonna need a lot more. Fucking.
Because like.